Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today is a beautiful day, a bit cold, but still I decided to go outside for this video, and I want to talk about how to make art videos as an artist all by yourself. Because in 2021 is still a very difficult time. You might not have the access to professional service or studios. If you want to make videos of your creative process or documenting your life as an artist, you're pretty much alone on your own, like most of us right now, confined. And you might be struggling with some technical difficulties, and that's why I want to share with you my setup and the way I do it as a kind of film school graduate. I don't want to make it sound very daunting like a professional gears or anything. I want to recommend some prosumer or consumer gears that are completely easy to access and affordable for most people. This is not a affiliate or a kind of a sponsored video. I will just recommend some gears that I use personally, and also different types of gears. So within the category, you can find the right model and the right brand for your own needs. And without further ado, let's get into it. I will go over camera, light, sound, and support. And first of all, camera is obviously the most important. The best camera you have is the camera you have with you. So if you don't have enough money or time to source a new camera, you have to work with what you have. And what you have is, I guess, a smartphone. The camera on the smartphone is good enough if the phone is produced in the past 24 months. Like I have XR, I have 11 Pro and 12, and they are excellent cameras. The only complaint I have is the workflow. When you start working with the camera, you'll find some little glitches that won't work, almost like bugs. For example, the variable frame rate on the iPhone won't work with Premiere Pro, and I've been struggling with it a lot in the past few months when I started using my iPhone for interviews. If I use it for B-roll, no problem, but interviews, the audio and the video won't sync, and I have to manually sync it. With Android phones, there are also other problems. I don't want to make it sound like I'm bashing the iPhone and I'm not criticizing other phones. Not at all. Android phones also have their own problems. For example, my friend bought a Huawei P30 Pro and a lavalier mic, and she tried to record with that, and it won't work because the mobile won't recognize the lavalier mic as a recording device, and you can't set it up with the native app. You have to download a third-party app and set it there. It's extra steps and extra trouble, but you will find a way to make it work if you dig hard and be very patient and try to work your way around it. And the second camera I recommend is a GoPro style action camera. I use this Osmo Action for the past like a few months, like 10 months. And I've been quite happy with it because of the front screen. I can record selfie style videos like vlogs. The only complaint is the audio. If the audio could be better, I will be happier. So I bought a plug-in for this to put a microphone on it, but without it just come out of the box, you won't be able to plug in any external mic to it, which is a big problem personally, because if you record any sort of voice, it won't really work with what comes out of the box. It's still a good camera for most artists if you have like a small space, if you shoot outdoor, if you go into water, or like you get your hands wet, like making ceramics or sculptures, you don't want to damage a very expensive camera, then this is perfect because it's very robust. It's weatherproof. The next kind of camera I will recommend is a compact camera, what we call a vlogger camera. Could be Sony or Canon or Olympus. I personally use Olympus interchangeable lens camera, but I'm not very convinced right now because of the weather. Yes, because of the weather. When it's very cold, the battery won't last even 15 minutes. Even in the warm weather in your studio, it won't last more than half hour. That is a big problem for a lot of artists who are shooting long time lapse or long tutorials. So if you think you will be bothered, don't get this one. Instead, you can get a better, like a DSLR camera that usually come with a bigger battery compartment. That means bigger battery, more battery life. And also it's more professional. You can use it for different kind of purposes like event photography when later you go to an exhibition, and you can shoot portraits and videos and photos. And I use Canon 60D for 10 years, and then I switched to 70D, then 80D. The next camera I'm going to get is 90D. 90D is the cheapest camera with 4K filmmaking capacity in this range. I like it because I can flip the screen so I can see what I'm shooting right now, and this video is shoot on the Canon EOS 70D. I have the 80D waiting for me at home, and I shoot like an hour visit video without any problems, and I still have plenty of battery left, so I'm quite happy with the performance, and it's more or less weatherproof. You can get a better model. There are a lot of better cameras. The 70D, 80D, 90D series a lot more economic, and it's enough for most artists for most projects and situations. Moving on to light, my favorite light right now is this little one. It's a portable LED with battery integrated, and it's very bright. This is 60%. I'm going to increase to 100%. You can see that it's bright enough for most low light situations, and if you have enough money, you can get a bunch of them, and then you can have a very portable setup. If you don't go outside that often, I would recommend soft boxes. They are more flattering, and it's very cheap. $50 you can get a set of 2 or even 3. You can use it for any kind of situation indoor with a stable power source. I have 9 different soft boxes laying around in 3 different cities in the world, and whenever I travel to the city I normally go to, I would pull it out and use it for my primary lighting. If you have a very small space, like a tiny home studio, then what you can use is ring light. Ring light is excellent. I have it for the past year, and I've been very content with it. But recently I recommended it to a friend of mine, and she had been complaining. She said it's not so cool because of the reflection on the glasses. If you wear glasses like me and you do a lot of talking head, maybe this is not the best. In this way, I would recommend other kind of lighting like soft boxes. Again, if you have small space, you can use what is called a lightsaber or a light tube. It's not exactly like the Star Wars lightsaber with different angles. It only lights the front, it doesn't light the back, but you really won't need it to light the back anyway when you are shooting. And this is particularly good for small space, overhead shooting when you are painting or when you're sketching on a desk. It can go over the desk 90-degree bent, and is one of the best light for overhead shooting if that is something you do a lot. Moving to audio, my favorite is a shotgun mic. I have different kind of shotgun, directional, stereo, different marks and different models. But I find those kind of things are great for indoor but not great outdoor, because no matter what kind of windshield you put, it will record a lot of noise, like wind noise and noise of like the plastic bags or the garbage on the floor. It will record everything, so I'm not very happy with the outdoor performance. Basically, equipment you can use to document your creative process as an artist alone, like something you can operate without a lot of knowledge, and you are able to do it all by yourself at the same time, teaching or painting or working on your projects. If you do a lot of outdoor and talking, I would recommend using a lavalier mic. This one I bought for $5. Just make sure you get the right kind of adapter to use for your camera or your smartphone. They will have different kind of adapters for it. If it's really windy like today, right now, it's very, very windy. You can use what is called a dead cat wind shield to protect your microphone from very strong wind. If you move a lot in front of the camera, like doing murals, jumping up and down, doing very active things, then you can have a wireless lavalier mic. I use Sennheiser at work, and most of my vlogger friends use Rode Wireless Go. Personally, I think it has a lot of risks. If you're not very familiar with filmmaking and you don't have enough brain cells to pay attention to the audio quality, like monitoring it real time, you might not know when it's not recording. Like maybe the battery ran out, or maybe there's some interference with some environment, radio frequency interference. You might find some glitches and you find audio unusable. And that's why I would recommend using an external recorder like a Zoom, Tascam, or use your iPhone. Like right now I'm using a wired Rode Smart Lav Plus with my iPhone 11 Pro, and I found this setup very versatile. I don't need to worry about the distance between me and the camera. I can move freely, although I'm not moving freely, but I could if I need to. And also I can monitor the audio in real time to see if it's recording with the audio meter here, and it is cheaper than wireless lavalier mics, so it's a very good setup for artists who are on budget. Moving on to the support, my favorite support is my tripod, of course. If you do a lot of overhead shooting, you need to find a tripod that can extend to at least 1.60 meters and can tilt the central column 180 degrees. That is doing the horizontal shooting. And this way you can shoot on a lower desk, like a little mini coffee table, and you can shoot your time lapse this way. If you have a tripod already and you want to use your smartphone for shooting, you'll realize that you need something to put your smartphone on the tripod. This is something you'll need. That is a camera rig. It's just a piece of plastic, basically extendable. You put any sort of smartphone inside, and there's a kind of a cable compartment to open access the cables, and you can put any sort of cold shoe mount. Those are cold shoe mounts, 1, 2, 3, three of them, like a light or microphone or screen. And you can have a handheld position, or you can put it on a tripod. So it's quite good for $5. It's just plastic. You can also buy the aluminum ones from Small Rig or other brands that are more like a phone case. But if you change your phone, you might need to buy a new case. And that's the reason I'm not getting that one. I'm having a more universal. When it breaks, I will just have to find a new one. Now, moving on to the next thing. If you move a lot in front of the camera, you might find a problem is that the camera is not following you. And that's why I recommend using some sort of stabilizer, like 3-way stabilizer, that you can put on a tripod and then set it to follow your face or track the object. Maybe it's your art, or maybe if it's something else. It tracks you when you move, so it's very convenient, and usually it's $199 to $199, $399 max. This is something relatively new, and it's unimaginable a few years ago to have someone follow you automatically that cost under $300. So it's a very cool tool to have if you have extra resources and money to spare. Last but not the least, I want to recommend a very special thing that is a wearable. That is something you can clip on, like a hat or a belt or a vest, something you can wear your smartphone or a compact camera or a sport camera, so you can bring your camera wherever you go. This is not exactly a professional tool for filmmaking, but it's rather a fun tool, and also it's something that gives you this mindset of wherever you go, your camera is a part of you. You are more comfortable filming yourself and filming others, and other people will get quickly used to the fact you carry a camera always. It's not like you're actively carrying, you're passively carrying it, and soon enough your family and friends and people around you will get comfortable. And especially now when people are wearing masks, they don't really mind. This is at least how I find when I'm going around in public in China. Maybe they're extra tolerant, but I have this opportunity to shoot wherever I go and to document every bit of my life, and maybe something suddenly happens, something nice, something not nice, and I can record it as I go. Alright, so those are the things I recommend for any kind of self-filmmaking, self-documentary setup, making art videos or any other sort of videos for social media. If you have other kind of recommendations, let me know in the comment below. Before finishing this video, I want to take the opportunity to thank our patrons, especially the new patrons. Thank you for your support. Alright, that's all for today. See you in the next video.